Cast Iron Skillet by Jason Isbell is a very approachable song for beginners because it relies on a very obtainable chord progression to play. However, there is maybe a slight hang-up for beginners, which is that the album recording of the song is played in an alternate tuning. It uses normal chord shapes, but you notice this chord shape of a G. It is not a real G. This is actually an F sharp that is getting played. The way that Jason Isbell plays this is he's playing it on a guitar that is detuned one full step, and then he capos on the first fret, which actually brings the pitch of the song to being only detuned a half step. So there are a couple of different ways to approach the tuning. One is to detune your guitar a full step and then capo first fret. Let me talk through all this tuning stuff first, and then I'll give you an idea for what to do if you don't want to detune in just a second. So if you detune just like Jason Isbell does to a full step down, you would have a D, a G, a C, an F, an A, and a D. And then whenever you throw on to your first fret a capo, your tuning would then have become a D sharp, a G sharp, a C sharp, an F sharp, an A sharp, and a D sharp. Option number two is, instead of using a capo, just detune your guitar one half step so that whenever you play in standard G position, you are detuned to where we are as we're capoed on the first fret and then playing on the fourth fret here in G position. Third idea is don't detune at all and just play this song in standard out of G shapes. Now, your pitch will be basically one fret higher in tone than what the album version is recorded in. But once you learn kind of the feel and the rhythm of this song, I feel like people tend to re-capo anyway to put it in a place that is maybe best for their voice. So the song can be played in G much more easily than it can be played in these other tunings, because playing in G formation, you don't have to retune your guitar if you're unfamiliar with how to do that. So there are three options for how to do it. However, I am detuned a full step. I'm capoed on the first fret of the guitar like Jason Isbell is, and I'll walk you through the chords now. So the song is being finger picked most of the time. I think I did see a video where he was using a pick and was just like going. But I think that more often than not, it's being finger picked. I know I've seen live videos of him finger picking. So the first chord, a G chord. I've got my second finger on the 6th string, 3rd fret. And I'm going to be speaking of these frets relative to the capos, though the capo is the nut, so like 1, 2, 3, instead of the real frets of 2, 3, 4. So I'm on the 2nd fret. I'm on the 3rd fret of the 6th string. I'm letting my second finger block out the 5 string. Then I've got an open 4 and open 3, and my ring finger and pinky finger pulled back to the 3rd frets of strings 2 and 1. So ring finger on 2 string, 3 fret, pinky finger on 1, the 3rd fret of 1 string. So most of this song, your ring and pinky should remain just planted right here. And you notice that I'm up picking with my 2nd and my 1st fingers on strings 1 and 2, and then as I up pick or as I up pluck, I'm letting the open string 3 and many times the open string 4 just kind of ring through. I'm not intentionally digging through to them. I'm not doing that, but just kind of on that flick up, a lot of times you hear overtones of strings 3 and 4 there. So that would be the upbeat. It'd be like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So a lot of times your thumb will be hitting on the downbeat. So you've got a G, you pluck with your thumb just once on the 6th string. And then you up pick 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So you hear the upbeat, and I'm talking a lot about rhythm right now, but 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and your 1, 2, 3, 4 is your thumb on the downbeat. The ands are hitting the upbeats. 1 and 4, you move out of this G chord to your first finger should now go down and emphasize the 5-string 2 fret. You'll hit the and then you'll move with your second finger to the 5-string 3 fret for the 1 of the next measure, and then you'll and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and sometimes in the C chord you can hear sometimes Jason Isbell put his first finger down on the 4-string 2 fret, leading back into the G chord, like 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. And so things like that. All right, so that's just the first round of it. Leading in the second round, you will hit the open 4-string and then go to an E minor chord. So we've got G, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 on the C, 1 and 2 and 3 and then on the 4 and on the open 4-string pluck up, and then 1 on the next downbeat of the open 6-string, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 1 and 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and G, walk, C, D, E, D chord. So on this D chord, you pull your first finger back to the 3-string 2 fret, and then you can hear Jason Isbell lift up 1 and 2, 3. So I feel like I'm kind of talking, playing at the same time a lot. Kind of the key aspect of the song is that you're really only hitting your downbeats ever so often. It's not a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and most of the song is being driven by just this spacious upbeat 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And so like the 2, 3, and 4 of that, or the 2 and 3 did not come back to a downbeat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2. Sometimes in the C chord, on the album version, I can hear that note sneak in there sometimes. So that would be like, imagine that we're playing our C chord with the ring and pinky fingers planted on the 3rd frets of strings 1 and 2. Draw your first finger back to the 2nd fret of the 1st string while leaving your ring and pinky finger planted. You would pluck the downbeat and then pluck the upbeat, and then you would lift your pinky finger off the fretboard to where your first finger has already blocked the 1-string 2 fret to get that, the little bit of, I guess that's kind of dissonance that's happening there. And then you would just put your pinky finger back down and roll back into the G. Those are the chords and the movements to Cast Iron Skillet by Jason Isbell. Hopefully this gives you an idea of how to approach the song.